And do you have a message for him?
Honestly, he got a fight next week, right? So it seemed like he focused on me, and Lamont Roach is focused on him. I think I'm gonna go put my bet in on Lamont Roach.
As you talk sports, is
the overall makeup of a Tank Davis is surprising to most fighters. It won't be surprising to Lamont Roach. And Lamont is a DMV fighter himself, which means he got that dog, you know? It's going to be a good fight.
Gervonta, Tank Davis, and Lamont Roach are set to face off tomorrow, and boxing professionals have made their final predictions. Interestingly, Roach's confidence throughout the press conferences and the entire build-up has earned him the belief of some boxing experts. However, despite the growing support for Roach, the formidable Gervonta Tank Davis doesn't seem ready to let go of his perfect boxing record just yet.
When it comes to the invitation thing, but obviously he hit for a reason. He do what he's supposed to do with the guys that's in front of him. He got good.
Gervonta Tank Davis, boasting a flawless record of 30-0 with 28 knockouts, is currently on a 21-fight streak of victories by knockout or technical knockout, excluding his decision win against Isaac Pitbull Cruz. His last fight took place in June, where he showcased his speed and power to outclass Frank Martin, securing an 8th-round knockout. Meanwhile, Lamont Roach, a junior lightweight champion, is moving up in weight to take on Davis, one of boxing's most dominant knockout artists.
If you switch it up now, it ain't going to do too much. We don't have enough time to switch it up, you know?
Some boxing professionals believe that Davis deliberately chose a weaker opponent to protect his perfect record, as this fight lacks the excitement and competitiveness that a matchup against another top lightweight contender could have provided. Teofimo Lopez sees it as a mismatch and isn't particularly concerned about Lamont Roach's championship status.
You know what I'm saying? They're about to put him with a guy at 130 pounds. Whether he's a champion or not, you're getting a guy lighter than you to come up and weight to make you look good. Again.
I'm saying they're about to match him up with a guy who weighs just 130 pounds. Champion or not, he's a smaller fighter, moving up in weight just to make Davis look good. I would dominate any of them.
All right, guys, turn on and face the crowd. Turn on and face the crowd now. Cameras in the back, guys. Hector, camera in the back. Camera in the back.
Two-division champion Teofimo Lopez, who recently hinted at being ready for a showdown later this year, is among those seeking a fight. In a recent interview with Fight Hype, Lopez questioned Davis's willingness to face elite opponents.
Building up his followers, you know, and now look where that got him. So the whole thing is all about, man, just I'm a real fighter. That's what it is, man, the truth. And the truth hurts a lot of people, but they got to learn.
He emphasized the long-standing belief that Davis has been carefully managed, particularly pointing to his past reluctance to face Vasily Lomachenko. The main issue is they don't believe in themselves. How many times did they say Tank Davis wasn't ready for Loma, that he needed to be prepped? How many times did Mayweather have to speak for Tank Davis? I'm just stating facts, Lopez remarked.
Words, take it in. I beat Lomachenko. For me, I scored a 9-3. For you guys, I could care less because y'all don't know shit about boxing.
Lopez also recalled a sparring session with Davis from 11 years ago. At the time, Davis was already an 18-year-old professional, while Lopez was just 15. While he noted Davis's aggressive style in the ring, Lopez acknowledged that not much can be taken from that experience. Despite his observations, he does not underestimate Davis's skills. Davis is no easy opponent, he stated in a past interview with Fight Sports. However, Lopez remains confident that he is the only one capable of defeating him.
I ain't one to fucking play with.
I respect it, man.
Tank ain't a pushover. I guess the only one who can really beat Tank is me. Looks like I have to do it. Nobody else can. Interestingly, female heavyweight champion Claressa Shields, despite being a longtime rival of Gervonta Tank Davis, offered a surprisingly balanced prediction.
Bad man. He can fight, he's tough. I know we had our dispute back and forth, whatever. At the end of the day, we talk about just boxing.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know why everyone is sleeping on Lamont. He has a decorated amateur career, he's a tough kid, and he's got real skill. But Tank is Tank, and when I say that, I mean he's a bad man in the ring. He can fight, he's tough. Of course, Claressa Shields hasn't forgotten their past feud, so she made sure to add, I know we've had our back and forth, but at the end of the day, if we're just talking boxing, he's a great fighter. I'm looking forward to watching that fight.
I look forward to watching that fight.
Is this a pay-per-view fight, though? Would you buy it? Are you going to buy it?
I'll buy any fight that Tank has had pay-per-view. And I think that
When asked if the fight was worth a pay-per-view purchase and whether she planned to buy a ticket, Claressa Shields responded, "I've always bought any fight that Tank has had on pay-per-view, and I think Lamont Roach is worth watching. This fight is going to be very technical, very skillful, and as always, we're going to see Tank's power on display. Let the best man win." On the other hand, Tim Bradley had a much harsher take, calling it the Tank Protection Program. He didn't hold back, saying, "This dude looks like a total fraud. Put him in the ring with someone who can actually punch back. This has been going on for a long time, bringing up fighters from lower weight classes just to make Tank look good. He looks spectacular, but it's all a cover-up."
Bringing fighters up from a lower weight class to get in there with Tank. Tank looks spectacular, but it's a cover-up. I'm gonna tell you right now, I think Tank is a good fighter. They're saying they don't have an opponent.
Tim Bradley continued his criticism, stating, "I'm going to tell you right now, I think Tank is a good fighter. They're saying they don't have an opponent for him. Yes, they do. His name is De Los Santos, and the fans wouldn't mind paying for that fight, but they're covering something up. I don't know what it is. Is it De Los Santos' power they're worried about?" He then called out Davis for avoiding the matchup, adding, "Tank was doing a whole lot of talking when Shakur Stevenson put everybody to sleep with De Los Santos, but he won't step in the ring and face him." Bradley concluded by stating that this was the fight the boxing world wanted to see. He warned that while fans would still attend because of Davis, the pay-per-view numbers wouldn't meet expectations, saying, "Nobody's going to pay for this fight with Lamont Roach. Those pay-per-view numbers you're chasing, it's going to be a wishing well."
His name is De Los Santos, and the fans wouldn't mind paying for a De Los Santos fight, but they're covering something. I don't know what it is. Is it the power of De Los?
On the other hand, welterweight sensation Kenneth Sims Jr., who has faced both Roach and Davis in the ring, shared his thoughts on the upcoming fight. Initially, Sims avoided making a prediction out of respect for both fighters, as he maintains a good relationship with them. He felt that picking a winner would be somewhat disrespectful. However, he eventually opened up about his past experiences with Roach, recalling the wholesome moments they shared during their time at the Nationals, particularly when they faced each other in the semifinals.
Definitely a fight that, like a great fight for boxing. I think that boxing fans are trying to, like, basically shut Lamont out. I don't know, maybe because he's not a big name.
When asked what both fighters need to do to secure victory, Illinois native Kenneth Sims Jr. highlighted that both Roach and Davis are counterpunchers. To win, one of them must step out of their comfort zone and force the other to open up. Sims also pointed out that Gervonta Davis is a notoriously slow starter, often taking time to find his rhythm in a fight. Tank starts slow, but as the fight progresses, he picks up the pace and gets busy, Sims explained. However, he emphasized that for Davis to win this fight, he will need to be more aggressive earlier than usual. Otherwise, it might be too late, given how quickly Roach racks up points in the early rounds with his fast boxing style.
I'm looking forward to watching the fight.
Do you think the fact that it is going to be a technical fight, do you think that favors Lamont, or does it favor Tank?
Promoter Eddie Hearn offered a surprising perspective on Lamont Roach's lightweight title debut, pushing back against the widespread dismissal of Roach as an unworthy challenger. When asked about the upcoming clash between Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach, Hearn stated that Roach is a skilled fighter and that the reaction to the matchup has been unfair. Following the announcement of the bout, scheduled for December 14th, many were taken aback by Roach being chosen as Davis's opponent.
The Gervonta Davis-Roach fight.
I think that, it's had a lot of criticism, but...
Hearn argues that Gervonta Tank Davis, the WBA lightweight champion, had limited options for his next opponent due to various circumstances. Ryan Garcia is currently suspended. Shakur Stevenson is sidelined with an injury. Isaac Pitbull Cruz recently suffered a loss. And Devin Haney, after defeating Vasily Lomachenko, has chosen to sit out the remainder of 2024.
I won't be doing my phases for this one because we know the family, Yeah, that thing.
Tank. Davis had the option to face fighters like Edwin De Los Santos, Andy Cruz, Keyshawn Davis, and Raymond Muratalla, but none of them carry the name recognition of Lamont Roach. According to Eddie Hearn, there wouldn't have been a significant boost in pay-per-view sales regardless of Davis's choice, as casual boxing fans are unfamiliar with these names. I think the online reaction has been a bit unfair. Lamont Roach is a good fighter. The real issue is that no one knows who he is. With Tank's status in the sport, people expect him to take on high-profile opponents, and this fight doesn't feel like a big event to them. But if you truly understand boxing, you know it's a solid matchup. He's moving up from super featherweight. But what real options did Tank have? Hearn said in an interview with Fight Hub TV.
Bad fight, Lamont Roach is a world champion. He's smaller than Gervonta Davis. The problem is not many people are aware of who he is or his ability. But
the backlash backlash isn't just about Roach's lack of name recognition. It also stems from boxing enthusiasts who doubt his ability to compete at this level. While this is undoubtedly a tough challenge for the 29-year-old, it's also a major opportunity to elevate his career as he steps into the ring against one of boxing's biggest stars. Roach is a skilled and crafty fighter with a solid chin, and if he can take advantage of Davis's tendency to start slow, there's a slim chance he could make the fight competitive and even secure an early victory.
I see a nice competitive fight.
Nice competitive fight?
Yeah. He's not going to...
While Davis remains a major attraction in boxing, this matchup has left some fans feeling underwhelmed, as they had hoped for a more high-profile showdown against a top contender in his weight class. However, boxing is a sport full of surprises. Interestingly, Lamont Roach is preparing for the biggest moment of his career, aiming for more than just a lucrative payday. He wants to prove himself against Gervonta Davis. Roach isn't just after a paycheck. He wants Gervonta Davis's belt. He wants redemption. And with each passing day in training camp, he's getting closer to that goal. What makes his journey even more compelling, and perhaps more unsettling for Davis, is the deep personal tragedy that fuels his fight. The loss of his coach years ago remains a driving force in his career, pushing him forward every time he steps into the ring. Even Davis understands how difficult it is to defeat someone who has a deeper purpose, a fighter driven by pain and resilience. History has shown this before. Just think of Buster Douglas, who, after losing his mother, defied the odds to deliver one of boxing's greatest upsets against Mike Tyson over 30 years ago. Although Lopez has not announced a specific fight date, he has hinted at the possibility of moving up in weight again. Meanwhile, Gervonta Davis is expected to return to the ring in December in Washington, potentially facing Lamont Roach, the reigning super featherweight champion. However, former featherweight champion Gary Russell Jr. has criticized the matchup, claiming that WBA regular lightweight champion Tank Davis is misleading the public.
The right opponent, or that Lamont's not going to present a challenge.
It ain't no perception. Y'all know what it is, man. Tank picking and choosing. I always say
Russell has accused Davis of carefully selecting weaker opposition rather than facing the top contenders that fans want to see. He believes this strategy is designed to protect Tank from potential defeat. Davis has held the WBA's secondary lightweight title for years, allowing him to avoid the toughest challenges that come with being the main title holder. Russell is also unimpressed with Davis's latest opponent, Lamont Roach, who was brought up from the super featherweight division for this fight.